Oh boy. Oh, look at that. It worked.
What?
We're
Are
live
you
again.
awake?
We're live again. That's what that means.
We're live
You
again.
want to say anything, or you just want to go ahead and run the intro? What are we going to do here?
I'm gonna just do what I always have to do. I got to do my little homework there.
So you're sharing to your Facebook page and everything, making sure
Yeah.
everybody knows about it.
Yeah, make sure
Okay.
everybody knows that we're
That's right.
here.
I say we
You
just
know?
go ahead and I'm going to run the intro.
I'm ready, Rob. I'm all ready. Do
Let's
it.
do
Just
it.
run the
I'm running the
intro. Do
intro.
it.
Let's go.
I'm ready.
Shut up and sit down.
Boom. What's up, brother? How you doing? This is Street Certified Dope Doctor Louis Delgado here with you and the Problem Solving Network. We are Dope and Dharma, and today's edition is a Dope and Dharma edition because we're doing all kinds of things today, Trinity.
We're doing everything.
Sports. We're not just talking politics. We're not just talking recovery. We're not just talking spirituality. We're talking everything today. Because
You get a topic. You get a topic. You get a topic.
Everybody gets a topic. That's right. That's my
man.
partner right there for the last 10 years, Trinity Phillips, the Dharma guy.
Hey, what is up?
Right on.
I'm here. Well, this is 2 days in a row for us, man. It's we're on a roll.
Well, yeah. You know what? You told me I gotta get better. You punished me and said, Louis, you gotta sit still. And let's do what we do.
That's because I think, and feel free to comment if you're listening live. I think the public wants to hear us, so you should give them more.
Yeah, at least our mothers do it. That's all that's important.
Yeah, our moms consistently watch. Our wives have never watched, but our mothers are always watching.
Yeah. So that's cool. So anyway, welcome to the show. Like I said, this is Dope and Dharma. And today, let's start off with the draft because, I mean, if you're listening to this at some other point in time, just so you know, just for time purposes, we're in the middle of the second day now of the NFL Draft 2022.
Yeah.
So yesterday, we did exactly what we hoped to do. Now, let's start with this, Trinity. Now, I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, right? As a Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
All aware.
Right. And you're a San Francisco 49ers fan, just in case people didn't know that. So we don't have a quarterback anymore. And we got Trubisky during the offseason, and I'm happy with that. I'm good with Trubisky. I think he's good. I don't think he's a franchise guy that you build an entire franchise on, but I don't hate the dude. And I was very eager to see what he had to do this year. But since like mid or early last football season, I had been looking at Kenny Pickett, and I'd been saying, man, he's in Pitt. He's playing in Pitt. God, I wish we can get Pickett. Let's go get Pickett after Roethlisberger retires. Let's go get Pickett. And I'd had it in my mind, we're going to go get Pickett. And then Trinity, because I'm on Dharma time with us, right? We're constantly talking, and the Dharma guy puts it in our heads that we've got to manage our expectations. And that's true. You know, as a counselor, I tell the people that too. You got to manage your expectations. Expectations lead to premeditated resentments. So as we got closer to the draft, Trinity, I started giving up on the possibility that we can get Pickett because we're picking number 20.
And then he
kept I managed my expectations. Yeah, you've been proud of me, Trinity. I managed my expectations. I did a Dharma time-ish kind of thing. And I said, all right, what else? If we don't get Pickett because other teams need a quarterback too, and we're picking at 20, no way is Pickett dropping down to 20. I started looking at Willis because everybody else started talking about Willis. You know, Willis was looking really good. And I'm thinking, man, you know what? I can go for that. Now, he may not be available either. So I was worried about even having my expectations at that, Trinity, to be honest with you. But then I was hopeful because what else do we talk about? Like on the Couch Live. So even on a Dharma time, we talk about managing our expectations, right?
Right.
But on the Couch Live, we talk about being hopeful and, you know, and thinking positive, and you just may get it. So I started thinking, all right, Willis. And I'm all Willis then. I'm all Willis yesterday. And as the draft proceeded, Trinity, what kept happening? Just like what happened with Belichick last year, you know, the New England Patriots, how, you know, it just fell in their lap. And all of a sudden, here we are.
Of the century,
Dude, all of a sudden here at 20, Pickett was still available. And I started thinking, well, man, what do we do? And I was curious. I was like, what are they going to do? Did they do what I did and fell so in love with Willis that they now said, well, you know what? We have Trubisky for 1 year. Let's just get Willis and develop him for 1 or 2 years, and then he'll be great. Because I'm also sold on the entertainment value, Trinity. I'm sold on the Lamar Jackson, and trust me, I do not like the Ravens, but I'm sold on that kind of quarterback being exciting. I love watching Ravens games because of him, right?
Right. I mean, he can run. He can't throw, but he can run.
Right. So I got sold on the Michael Vick, the Lamar Jackson, the Kyler Murray kind of person. And we had one before with Cordell Stewart. And even though that didn't work out, I got sold on, man, it would be nice to have a quarterback that exciting, right?
Sure.
But then they got Pickett. And when they said his name, Trinity, I was like, all right. So now.
Yeah, I can't believe he dropped that far.
I love it, but I'm not as excited as I would have been like 6 months ago. So then it wasn't until this morning when I woke up and I realized, you know what? These are smart people, and they got somebody really good. And you know what? We got somebody that's a Pittsburgh dude. And this is true Pittsburgh fashion. They know what they're doing. And now I'm all excited again. And so thank you, Pittsburgh Steelers, for getting Pickett. Win, lose, or draw, you guys know what you're doing a hell of a lot better than all of us do, because if not, we'd be doing this for a living. And I'm just excited. I'm now even more excited to see what happens this year, because we actually got a guy. He's 24 years old very shortly, and he's already a mature player.
He's 24.
Smart guy. He's about to be 24 years old. Look, here's the thing. He stayed in college.
Wow. Okay.
Dude, he stayed in college one extra year.
Wow.
Right? He's going for his MBA. So this is not a dummy. You know, this guy's very intelligent. But someone that values football career, loyal to Pittsburgh, values his future, getting that kind of education. That is the kind of guy you draft to say, we'll give you every opportunity to be great. And you know what? For him, there is no better opportunity to be great than to stay in your hometown where everyone knows you and already loves you than Pittsburgh. So he wouldn't have any reason to not be as good as.
We got a comment real quick from Richard asking us if this is We the Middle. You want to take that one, or?
Well, it is not We the Middle, because we're going to be talking about three other things today. Good question, Richard. For those of you that don't know, when we talk about politics, we call it We the Middle. I'm not saying we're not going to touch on political issues maybe throughout this broadcast, so it may have some We the Middle-ish, just like
we are talking about Elon Musk at some point in the Twitter thing,
So that could be that is definitely We the Middle-ish in that conversation. So stick around, Richard. We definitely want your input. But are we dedicating this show to political conversation? No, it's not a dedicated show to political conversation.
Draft talk.
Right. Although people have tried to turn the NFL into a political situation too, but just so you know, we got Brian Flores.
Yeah, but we are live, Richard. So if you have any questions, by all means, you can ask, because we are technically live.
Right. And guest wise, I think the way we're set up now, it's always easy to add somebody. If you start texting some information or questions that we really want to have further conversation on, even further than just the answering your messages, Richard, it's easier to just say, hey man, let's throw this person on real quick. And get them on the show. Let's hear what they got to say. So that's not against what we'll do. That's in line what we do moving forward. We're fluid. Anyway, all right. So I got real excited. So now here's the thing. By the way, did you notice? You didn't notice. Look what I'm wearing today.
Yeah, Claypool.
Chase Claypool. Right. And I'm wearing this today in honor of you, Trinity, because you're a Notre Dame fan.
Yes, I am.
And Claypool played in Notre Dame. We got him a couple years back. He was our very first pick. I think it was in the second round, though. I don't even think we had a first round pick that year.
I know the feeling.
Yeah, I know. So we got Chase Claypool, and to be honest with you, he's my favorite receiver with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And for some reason,
it's because he's a Notre Dame guy.
Because he's tall and strong. He plays like a very fast tight end. So just imagine like a speedy tight end, and that's Claypool. He's very tall, big, strong, gets that ball out of the air. And for some reason, Ben just never used him, I think, properly. I think just Ben did not.
It's because he's old, man. Ben's done.
Right. I think
he's a shell of his former self.
Right.
I mean, he's still good, but he's not like he was.
Yeah, so I got a feeling that Pickett's whoever, Trubisky and Pickett or Pickett. Watch me get surprised with Mason Rudolph just beating them both in the
I do not see
the
that
offseason. But anyway, poor Mason today. But so what I'm saying is that I think Claypool's going to get really a great opportunity at being the number one star receiver on our team. So that's fantastic, and I'm excited for that, and that's going to be cool because we need some receivers. I hope today during the draft we get some receivers because we have zero receivers really.
It's usually Claypool. The second, third round is usually receivers, running backs, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, brother, I hope so. I hope you're right, man, because we didn't
Except
get
for that
any.
one team. It was a couple years ago. They took a kicker in like the first round. So
who us?
No,
We got one like in the 6th or 7th round. I know that.
That's usually when they go, but
we got Harvin.
A few years ago, somebody took one in like the 1st or 2nd. It shocked
I think people gave us a lot of crap for taking one in the 6th or 7th round. I think it was last year. But we were looking for that replacement, and I guess we were saying we're full with everything else, and everybody else, is not relevant. So that's the way it went.
Yeah, there you go.
Again, I trust our team, man. And so anyway, so I'm excited. Hopefully we get some wide receivers. I don't know what you guys, if you're watching, if your favorite team got who you wanted today. I don't know if yesterday and who you're hoping to get today. I know between Pittsburgh and Green Bay, we're all looking at receivers. I can't imagine Green Bay not going for receivers today. I think they got 2 picks today. Yeah, I think they got 2 picks today. We only got 1. But I know Aaron's desperate for some receiver help, and we are too. So going on to a different topic, though, still staying with the draft. Because your guy did not get traded. So one of us was right for sure, right? You said that we recorded yesterday's show, and you were thinking I was going to.
I did not. You were going to get a quarterback, and they did.
Right.
And I was. I can eat my words. I was the first one to send you a text. Hey, congrats, man! Because I know, good pickup.
So
it'll be interesting.
I was what? I was what?
Well, you were right in the sense that they were going to take a quarterback.
Yeah, all right,
absolutely.
That's right. All right,
absolutely. But you also thought that we were going to lose Debo, and we did not.
Well, that's not over. The draft is not over.
You said
and the year has not started. Now,
I still don't think we're going to lose them, but
yeah, I did. The odds are less today. I got to admit, the odds are less today, but they're still there because you guys still could get some capital, something. You know, because second round is still good, still decent. I don't think it's Deebo Samuel good. I think that
none of them were in there, even the first round.
Yeah, you guys clearly wanted too much for him, and I'm sure you got some phone calls. I'm sure.
Oh, of course.
I'm sure many teams contacted you in regards to the trade. I do not see him going to Green Bay. I think that would just be stupid of you guys.
No, we would never trade him like that. No.
I'm sure if you're taking any phone calls, it's an AFC phone call. It's not an NFC phone call.
You think?
Right, but at the same time, I think what you wanted for him yesterday, nobody was willing to give you. There were too many good players on that board that I think people wanted, other than somebody that's already coming out of the box saying, you can't use me the way you fell in love with me. I think that's the hard thing, right? I think that's the hardest statement anybody can make. However you got to love me, I don't want to be used that way.
Right.
Okay. That's like a quarterback coming out and says, yeah, but I don't want to be a quarterback. I want to be your kicker.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll I still think today could be the day you lose Deebo. But if you don't lose him today, I think it's a lot less likely unless he gives you so much problem in the locker room or creates so much of a fuss that you end up trading him for future draft picks, which is possible.
Sure. It's possible. I don't.
But where do you sit on that now? Do you know what is the
think
insider news?
I still think we're going to keep him. He's too valuable, man, and he hasn't come out. Well, he hasn't come out publicly, trashing anybody. So he hasn't said anything that he couldn't come back from. So I still think
he's not an idiot.
I think he's too valuable to let go. So I gotta assume that they're going to do. Even John Lynch came out and said he can't imagine the situation without him. So they're going to try to get the deal done.
Dude, let me tell you something, Trinity. There was a day where I couldn't imagine a season without Antonio Brown. Now, I am not comparing Antonio Brown to Deebo Samuel in no way.
Yeah,
other than the fan fact of saying I cannot believe we got rid of that person. And there's another team out there probably doing the same thing. There's a couple teams. Right. First of all, I'm sure Green Bay fans did not see that happening with their receiver, and I know that the Chiefs didn't see Tyreek going anywhere.
Right. Yeah, Tyreek Hill was a shocker to me.
So it could happen. I mean, they don't call these things silly seasons for nothing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But the silliest part of the season is over.
Richard, we see your comment. He said early voting just started here in North Carolina. Let the race begin. He said that because I think you're on the ticket, aren't you, Richard? I think you are on the ticket to be to try to obtain votes for. I want to say it was commissioner or something like that. But
okay,
good luck.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into that conversation. I have no problem getting into that conversation.
Yeah, I'm just keeping up with the comments, man.
Right on.
How come you're heard, Richard. We hear you.
Oh, that's right. We will definitely bring you in and talk about that. All right, so that's that. That's the Deebo Samuel. I still think I could be correct on that Deebo Samuel. For your sake, I hope not. There's clearly a lot of teams that I do not want to see Debo go to, and I do not want him to come into the AFC unless he's going to be on the Pittsburgh Steelers. But
wow.
if we in some miraculous way made a phone call that you guys liked, I am going to love that because I think he would fit in
I don't
really
think we have
nicely.
anything we would want.
Picks.
Yeah, but your guys' picks are never like that high though. Even this week, yesterday we were what 20.
You're running out of time, Trinity. You're running out of time, and you're going to have somebody
that is what freaks
me. And dude, as a fan, having disgruntled people within your locker room is frustrating.
Yeah,
we don't like it as a fan because we want to love the guy, we want to support the guy, and then they're out there just all about me. It looks very selfish.
Yeah,
it's going to turn into a lose-lose situation for the team and for him. But anyway, one last thing, football, and then we'll move on. Where is Antonio Brown now that I brought him up?
God, who knows? Doing an interview, I'm sure, somewhere. Actually, you know what? Didn't he join up with I think he joined up with Kanye West to do some like charity thing. And
yeah, I'm talking football.
Yeah.
I'm talking
nowhere.
Football.
He's not on the field. He's toxic, dude.
Let's put some things into perspective. There's 3 names that didn't show up at all in anything I've watched yesterday. 3 names that are pretty relevant names one way or another. So let's talk Antonio Brown first because I brought him up. So Antonio Brown is a relevant name. Why? Because there's a lot of teams that need receivers. Receivers are necessary. And there can't be a receiver cheaper than Antonio Brown with that kind of talent. There cannot be a cheaper receiver on the market that can actually play that good. Now, attitude-wise, I warn you.
Yeah. Work ethic-wise,
work ethic, I warn you. So if you can somehow sign him with a writer that says you must be in therapy 23 hours a day.
Yeah.
And then only practice 1 hour a day. If you could do that, you got yourself a steal. I would love, man. I would love for him to make. Well, you know the dumb thing is that you don't go tell the entire world that you have a severe ankle injury and then you act like you really want to play football. Because then everybody's like, wait a minute, let's talk about this ankle injury. Because maybe you're not as good anymore because you had this severe ankle injury. You don't do that as an athlete.
The other way he shot himself in the foot was going on, national television and doing all these interviews where he's pulling out like text messages and essentially suing. Like, you don't do that, man. Because now if I'm thinking about bringing you on, I'm like, okay, are you going to turn on me too? Like, right? He's a basket case, man. That dude's got issues. He needs to get his life together first before he starts looking into football.
It's as if you had a first date with a girl, and on the first day, she tells you when you start talking about exes, and she says, "Yeah, my last 2 boyfriends, I burned his house and I burned the other guy's car."
Yeah, check.
That would
please.
make you. Yeah, that would.
Nope.
I couldn't imagine a situation where you wouldn't want to get out of Dodge quicker. Right?
Exactly.
Oh, damn, man, my little puppy's chewing up my Pumas. Hey.
That's funny because mine is laying on a beanbag.
Wait a minute, man. This can't happen. Trinity, entertain some air real quick. There's no way I'm gonna let this dude eat up my damn Pumas. Hold on.
I think you should let him eat the shoes. I think that's the way to go. Because mine is casually laying on my daughter's beanbag, just chilling. If you guys can't see a 70-pound pit bull laying on a beanbag, it's quite the sight. But no, as he was saying, I don't know. I think Antonio Brown is a problem. I think we're going to keep Debo. I think the other one you named was your guys' old running back. What was his name? The other one you were talking about?
Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, Le'Veon Bell. That's the other one that's floating around there that's potentially a problem.
Hey, let me talk to you personally, Mr. Bell. Was the grass greener on the other side? You were complaining about not getting your time or your money.
Well, he underperformed. Was it Buffalo he was in? He underperformed.
Jets.
Was it Jets? Okay. I knew it was somewhere up
Jets, there. There he goes again, man. Who did fantastic in the draft, by the way. Jets, God, if you're a Jets fan,
they're the Jets.
Yeah. So, but if you are a Jets fan, you couldn't have got a prettier draft. So good luck, have fun.
They are who we thought they are.
But you are the Jets.
Exactly.
You gotta stop chewing my stuff, man. I don't know what to do with him.
Give him your shoes, man.
That my daughter and my
give him your shoes.
Got, and now I'm babysitting.
Don't be selfish. Don't be selfish.
Yeah, I'm not. He's not getting.
Give him your shoes, man.
But anyway, who? Oh, but my second team, the Eagles, we did good in the draft too, man. I'm a Steagles person, right? I love the Eagles as well. Steagles, we did good in the draft too, so that's fantastic. But yeah, Le'Veon Bell, if you wanna, you and Antonio wanna put your tail between your legs, apologize to the people of Pittsburgh and all the Yinzers and all the fans, and try to make a comeback. Hey man, we'll take you both real cheap. Bring you back real cheap, couple B's back. That'd be nice. We could use your groveling and your abilities. You are good. I mean, it's just that you're just jerky. But let me see. What's the third? Jesus, boy.
Yeah, I don't know the third one.
Oh, the third one. You're gonna like this one. You're gonna like this. All right, because and Richard's gonna like this one because this is on the edge of political.
Oh,
of all that conversation and Madden, even Madden having this dude as some great receiver on Madden for some reason. Madden 22 has this guy as a fantastic quarterback.
Okay. Yeah.
Kaepernick. How come nobody picking you up, Kaepernick, if you're so damn good and everybody's behind you? Oh, Kaepernick. Then how come he's not in any conversation?
He was in the Seattle conversation for a little while, but they decided to go against it.
Because he wasn't really in the conversation. It was a political, let's add him to the conversation just to say we did.
He's irrelevant to me. I think, first of all, he was on my team, the 49ers, so I got to see him up close and personal.
Yep.
He had one great season that I think we could have won the Super Bowl had they decided to run on any of the 4 downs, but instead they made him throw it. But then like after that season, dude, he couldn't hit a barn, man. He was throwing all over the place. He just wasn't good. And do I think that the taking a knee contributed to his being ousted? Of course it did.
Absolutely.
Because he wasn't worth it. His upside wasn't worth all the negative publicity. Because don't get it twisted, everybody. If that dude could still play lights out, they would look the other way from the controversy. They do it all the time.
And that's why it's political, because everybody that's acting like that guy is any good, trust me, if there was a time where someone would get him, it would be now. And nobody wants him because he was never that good in the first. Look what's bothering the hell out of me. This guy. Meet Chico, by the way. You're looking at Chico and the Man right now. Chico and the Man.
Nice. But no, and the other thing I don't like is how do you go and do a documentary where you compare the NFL and the combine to slavery, but then you turn around and you're begging to be let back in. It feels a little disingenuous to me.
Because it's not real.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. And first of all, never compare slavery to anything. It's almost as rude as comparing the Holocaust to anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jewish people do not like any comparisons to the Holocaust because it's very personal. It's very offensive. Black people, you guys should think the same way about anyone comparing a sport where people are making millions of dollars. It's completely your decision to do. Plus, it involves any culture that can play. Any culture that can play. They don't just measure black people's hands and measure black people's height and measure black people's abilities. They look at the white people the exact same way in the NFL. Look, they measure their hands as well. That's all we've been hearing about our new quarterback is about his hand size, and hand size. So they do that with athletes, not a color thing. There's not a color thing. Yeah. So the fact that he was allowed to say that without anyone getting on his ass about it is shame to anyone that backs that person.
I'd agree with that. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then to have him turn around and beg to be back in. Like, oh, come on, man.
Right. And for you Madden people just down the road over here in the Maitland area, Maitland, Florida.
No, they're downtown now, Orlando.
Oh, are they? All right.
Yep,
well, you then in Orlando. Good. Further away from me because you guys did a stupid thing. You turn him into some great quarterback on Madden. It's so ridiculous, man. How good he is on Madden. When
I played against him, I sacked him every time and intercepted him. So,
yeah, but he still makes it to the Super Bowl as the other team or whatever.
I did. I only played him in the playoffs. I mean, we
annihilated him, exactly. There's no way of all the quarterbacks that exist on that game. How the hell is he making it to the playoffs? No way.
That I don't know.
No way. And then he's like player of the week. Like I don't know how many times when I was playing. I was like, no way.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so that's football talk. Unless you have any more draft or football talk.
Yeah, I don't have any more football talk until we get closer to the season and more things are actually happening.
Right. All right. So now let's move on from that. Go into a different conversation. While I go, you take the listeners and I'll catch up. I got to go find a place for this dude. because there's no way I can be the richest.
Just give him the shoe, man. Just let him
this
have
little
it.
puppy. So
Dude, you're in the top 1%.
Start us off on the
Give
next
him more
topic. I'll be
shoes.
right back.
All right, so the next topic, if you guys are looking at our title here or in our description, obviously it's going to be Elon Musk. So for those of you who live under a rock and aren't aware of who these players are, Elon Musk is our like movie hero / villain. I don't know, $200 and some billion, one of the richest men in the world. I think it's deserved. The dude's brilliant. He's done all sorts of things for humanity, and he's had some sketchy interactions with Twitter where they kind of he was trolling some stuff. They banned him, whatever, and then he did the ultimate screw you move. And he decided to make an offer to buy Twitter, right? It started out, he bought 9% of their shares, and that ruffled some feathers. He decided to take it to the next level, make an offer. They turned down his offer, and then we got to watch, which I thought was actually really cool, a hostile takeover right in front of us. Like, we got to watch it happen, which I thought was really, really cool, to be honest.
Wait, it wasn't hostile.
Yeah, it was. They didn't want him. They turned him down.
But that's not hostile. Hostile is where you really bully them in there, in the boardroom.
He kind of was. Because he was talking.
It was an embarrassing takeover. I think it was an embarrassing takeover.
It was. They didn't want to be bought at all. He made him an offer that they really couldn't refuse. They threatened to dilute the shares to where he couldn't do it. Then he threatened to bring on another conglomerate to buy even more shares and forced his way to buy them all. And then they finally accepted, the deal, whatever. So it was quite interesting to watch play out. I thought it was kind of cool, and it was an interesting thing to see.
What's Kathy saying right there?
She said he supposedly just sold $4 billion of Tesla stock. Yeah, I know there's something with Tesla.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I heard something like that the other day, but I don't quite know what it was because some of the stock wasn't available yet or something. I'm not really sure the details, but regardless, so he the reason why it's a big deal is because Twitter, depending on who you listen to, Twitter is notorious for shadow banning or for censoring anybody who is leaning right, meaning leaving more of a conservative mindset. There's obviously some people on the left that would debate that. Right. But there's many people on the right would say not so much. And there's a very famous. What about me?
Yeah. What about you? Do you think?
I think they're absolutely. I think
pick on the right.
I think they are a microcosm of what's happening around us, and that is, as a society, we have made this major shift towards a more left idea, and we've turned into the situation where if you don't adhere to that 100%, then now you're suddenly the enemy, and you shouldn't be listened to, and you should be banished.
Well, I got a question there. You said society has made a shift. Would you say that they make it seem like that because they're the ones that control the media and the news? Because I don't see my everyday lifestyle doing that and saying that, and I'm not far right leaning. So why am I not seeing that? We're very middle people that we feel like we've been standing still, and the left went so far left that it kind of moved the bar.
Based upon the numbers, I would agree with you. I don't think the majority of Americans feel that way.
No.
However, the loudest ones are
very loud.
The loud majority, right? Because you have loud on right,
rude,
loud on left,
hateful.
But the loudest. Well, I think that the people who control what we see, because we see it in movies now. You were talking about video games earlier. We're seeing it in that. There's a lot of quote unquote wokeness that's appearing in places that it might not normally appear at, and it doesn't appear on both sides of the argument. It appears very, very, very heavily leaned towards liberal agenda.
Well, you remember when I was playing that Tiger Woods golf game, and I told you that instead of using he and she in the golf game, they say they.
Yeah,
they're coming up, and I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
you're not referring to any of the players as he or she. You're only saying they. That was interesting.
Yeah. So that's where the controversy comes in. Is Twitter is essentially the town hall, if you will. It's a very public platform, and there's been a debate for years on if they are a public forum, then they shouldn't be allowed to censor, and if they're going to censor, then they're a publisher, which means they should be held accountable for what's on there. That was the big debate, and there's actually a bill in Congress about it. And so Elon Musk is taking it over, and everybody's unsure of what that means. I mean, he's tweeted. Elon's awesome, man. So he's tweeted out a couple real things that he's going to do. He thinks that he's going to try to get rid of the bots. He's going to try to verify everybody. He's going to try to make the algorithms transparent. So there's a lot of interesting and positive things I think that he's going to do. And he's also been trolling everybody as well, which I think is awesome. I love it when a billionaire has screw you money and he behaves with like he's got screw you money. I love that. But I don't know where I personally fall on this because I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we're getting around. So let's just go ahead and run up to it. My personal thoughts on it, I love it. I love the fact that he's going to do it. I think it was BS that you took the president of the United States that we had at the time, Donald Trump, regardless if you love him or hate him. I have my own personal feelings, for and against him.
Right.
But the fact that he was censored and taken off, I did not agree with that at all. I don't think it's it feels disingenuous when you allow people like Putin who to still have a Twitter account, but you take somebody like Trump, where all Trump did was say some things that you not like. Putin's killing people. It just it doesn't mesh well. And so I don't agree with that. I don't think it was right. And so I love the fact that somebody's going to come in and say, you know what? No, this is how we're going to do business.
I love
and I do also think it's funny too that they're all freaking out. And people at the Twitter like home headquarters are all like losing their mind now. And they treating this dude like he's some evil conqueror, which blows my mind. When he was on SNL, like, I don't know, last year, I think it was. And they were giving some of the cast members safe spaces if they were triggered by him. I can't comprehend that because on SNL they have rappers.
They make fun of everybody.
Well, no. They have musicians and other actors who come on who have like actual like legal problems, who have arrest records and have done horrendous things and stuff, and they're not triggered by those. Yeah, come on, you're awesome. I'm so happy to have you. Elon Musk comes along, and the only thing he's done is changed space travel for humanity, created an electric car for humanity that saves the planet, and the byproduct from that electric car has now gone into homes and everything else for all that technology. He's now trying to tackle traffic with the Hyperloop and the Boring Company, where they're trying to figure out how to solve the traffic issues around the world. He's agreed to give the World Health Organization billions of dollars if they could give them an actual legitimate plan to solve world hunger. This dude has done nothing wrong,
and he's on the spectrum. And he's on the spectrum. So they should love that.
Yes.
If for nothing else, that a person on the spectrum is able to.
I don't understand the hate other than he's rich.
And they bully him. And they bully him all the time.
Yeah.
They attack. They make fun. They bully. And he has that FU money where he's just saying, you know what?
FU.
No. Right.
Yeah.
And
I love it.
Me too. And I love it. And I love him a lot more than Bezos because, first of all, both of them were not good husbands. I mean, they both have bad track records as husbands, so
Right.
They're equal there, right? But as far as what they did, space exploration stuff, first of all, Elon was first. Elon relatively saved with the NASA projects.
He took over.
Took it over. Saved the entire Space Coast down here. The Space Coast was you could have bought that property even on the beach for $100,000 to $200,000 at that time when they first left. Saved that entire area, Brevard County. But also inspired Bezos to come in. But what did Bezos do? Bezos is doing it like it's a new airline, where, let's find a way to make more money at it. Since I'm already rich, I'm going to make more money by having people travel and having these experiences. Where Elon Musk, he could have done that. But instead of doing it, he goes, I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it because this planet eventually is going to die, or we need other options. And we're going to go explore space and explore other planets to actually populate other planets.
Yeah.
So he's doing it for all of us, like Trinity said, like
he's
for
helping
humanity. He's not doing it just for Amazon. He's not just doing it for himself.
Yeah, somehow he gets his. I don't know. It boggles my mind on why he gets so much hate. I don't understand. And the Twitter thing,
though, he also gets a lot of love. I
Yeah,
think
not as
smart,
publicly.
intelligent people love Elon Musk. I think followers, moo cows, are against him.
Is that what you're calling them?
The sheeple are against Musk, but the smart, intelligent, business-minded people that just love challenging authority really do love Musk.
Yeah, I think what he's doing is phenomenal. And I can't wait because I do believe Twitter's a cesspool. I think too many people think Twitter is America.
Too powerful.
And it's not. They think that Twitter speaks for America, and they don't. Twitter speaks for the people on Twitter.
Amen.
You know, there's so many people I know who don't even have Twitter accounts or pay attention to it, right?
Right.
I mean, there's so many people who have like Facebook, but they don't have Twitter or whatever, vice versa.
They
so
got rid of me for my name. They got rid of me for my name. I had to go get my name back after 2 years. The dope doctor.
The dope.
Oh, so I'm a bad person because I talk about drug and alcohol and recovery and helping people, and they misread it in their stupid algorithm and looked at it like, oh, this guy's promoting drug use. Yeah, smart you, Twitter.
So the idea that Twitter somehow speaks for America, I think, has been long overdue to be debunked, and I think he's going to debunk it. I think a lot of them are going to have egg on their face because I think when he does make these algorithms transparent and public record, they're going to see that there was legitimate shadow banning, and I think that that's going to cause some egg on the face kind of a thing. And I'm looking forward to it. You know, I think it needs to be out in the open.
Yeah, I'm excited about it, man. I just, you know, I
it's
love
6 months.
it.
I think he takes over, so it's going to be interesting. And he's talking about taking it private, which to me is like, whoa, like, there's his publicly traded company, which you're making money off of with all the shareholders and stuff. Instead of keeping the party going, you're going to bring it private. Like, wow,
exactly.
Okay,
yeah. And I would like to see him do SNL again and remember, but not SNL. All right, you know the comedian I'm thinking about, so I'm just going to give you the phrase and then I'll let you finish it. I would like him do a Rick James version. Him do Rick James and go, "I'm rich, bitch," you know.
Yeah.
If he would do awesome. Dave Chappelle's special,
that would be awesome.
He could say anything he wants on Dave Chappelle.
He kind of does, though, man. If you ever looked at his Twitter with him trolling people, it's amazing.
Oh no, but that's what I'm saying. I think Dave Chappelle should have Elon Musk on a new special,
right?
And he should try to out Chappelle him.
I'd watch it.
Yeah, he should out Rick James him.
I'd watch it.
Yeah,
for sure. No question.
Because I think it's phenomenal that you can't attack him with any substance. You have to make up an attack because he's constantly saying, I just want to make it more available for people, more real, more what we really are as a society. I want to improve society. I want freedom of speech. And you can't say he's right-leaning because he never was right-leaning, just like us. People think we're both Republicans sometimes. It's like, how the hell did we become Republican?
I know.
I'm registered independent. Dude, I've voted Republican once my entire 52 years of life, bro. You can't even tell me that. You know, I am truly in the middle, but even more left-leaning than middle. I mean, more left-leaning than right. And yet, because I don't believe in the crap that some of you are out there crying about and spewing about, I'm now all of a sudden I'm a Republican. Oh, okay. All right. Then I'm whatever.
Everybody just wants to label stuff, man. It's like, okay. It's this tribalism. It's all or none. Like, you know, you can't take it issue by issue. It's you're either with that team or you're with this team. It's like, well, no, I don't agree with you there.
Whatever you got to say. I mean, whatever. Right. You know, and so that's awesome, man. I love the whole Elon Musk thing. So anything more on Elon Musk?
No, I'm excited to wait and see what happens, man. I've been trying so hard to make it to one of these launches because I don't know if you weren't around when you were a kid in the state. You were in Texas, so I know they have a launch pad in Texas, but I remember
not anywhere near El Paso, bro.
Yeah, I don't know.
If they're landing in El Paso, they go, bro, I'm lost.
Right?
You know, I don't know where I'm going.
But I know when I was a kid, I actually went to go see the shuttle launch a couple times when I was a kid.
That's cool.
And I remember it being like a really cool experience, right? Because when that much in the same way of NASCAR, right? Like I'm not really a NASCAR fan,
right?
But I will say being there and hearing the engines, it's a pretty cool experience.
Absolutely, it's awesome.
More so than I thought it was going to be. Much in the same with the shuttle, though. Like when you get to see that shuttle lift off and the power of it's a pretty cool sight. And I haven't been
see it from your house.
Yeah, I can see it from my house, but
I can see it from my house.
Oh, really? You can see it from yours?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's it's far enough away where you can't feel it or hear it, but you can see the little thing going up. But I want my kids to experience it, so I've been trying to make it out to one of these launches. But like the next launch is like 3 or 4 in the morning or something like that, and I can't take the kids out there for that.
I feel like it seems like they're monthly. You know,
I wanted to go. The next one that they're coming up with is they're sending more people up to the space station, so it's going to be a pretty important launch. But I don't know, man. I'm pro Elon. I think what he's doing is amazing, and I'm curious to see how this whole thing unfolds, and then what's next. You know, because with him, there's always a next.
Well, Well, exactly. Well, two things. Number one, I'm sure some people are holding on to their Dogecoin a lot more than they were going to before because they're probably thinking,
Yeah.
maybe he's going to do
Well,
something with
I don't
Dogecoin
know.
again. Who
Do you have
knows?
any Doji? I don't have any.
I do have some.
Yeah.
Very little, but I have some.
Our
And then
XRP is in the toilet right now.
it's all right. I don't mind being in the toilet as long as it's going to like a lava.
Yeah. I
and
think
then,
I think it will.
and then the other thing is, oh God, what was I going to say about him?
About
And,
Elon?
yeah, it was about
You said
Elon.
you think Dogecoin is going to go up.
What
maybe
is this? What is the stock right now for Twitter trading at? Because we know what he bought it at. So it's like we're all
I don't
insider
know.
trading without wanting to insider trade. Like we're all going to get arrested because we're all
Well, he's
insider
going to take it.
trading.
He's going to take it private at some point. So
Why
that's going to
no?
be a
But he bought it at a certain number, meaning
Yeah.
that's the number you're going to get, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, I
isn't
believe
that the way
so.
it works?
He brought it like 18% above market, so they
So-
all made
so-
money.
So let's say it's trading at $50 today, which the last time I looked, it was right around $50, and he bought it at
Right.
54, right? So does
Something
that mean
like
that,
that,
if I buy it at $50, that I'm going to make $4 on it when the sale goes through? Because it's still
I
available
don't
for
know.
public purchase right now.
Yeah, that I don't know.
So isn't that like like we're all insider trading without wanting to? I mean,
Right? Yeah, I don't
so
know.
if you have the money and it's less than $54, why not buy it?
Sure, makes sense.
I mean, by the way, folks, I'm not a stock expert. And by the way,
yeah, true
do not
disclaimer
follow
here.
what I'm saying. Yeah, let me have that disclaimer because you don't say, "Oh, the dope doctor lost me money." No, I didn't.
Right.
But my
You know, what's funny is we never actually talked about investments on this show before. Any of the shows we've ever done, we've never talked about.
we don't have a money investment show. What does that tell you?
Yeah, although we're both invested.
Yeah, but when we're better at it, then when we actually make a ton of money on it, then we can come back as us.
Hey, I turned 2,500 into 8, so
you did pretty good, and you didn't tell me anything about it until it was too late.
Well, I told you about the Bitcoin or the XRP stuff. But anyways,
and that's the only one that didn't make your 8,000.
Not yet.
Anyway,
not yet.
So when our XRP goes up, then we'll have the financial show,
right?
But for
from
now,
from like Tahiti or something.
my thought process is that if you buy it under 54, you'll make whatever money is the difference. So
there you go.
It just seems like an easy bet right there. Anyway, I think we're done with that topic.
We talked draft and we talked Elon. The only thing left is the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard thing.
Johnny Depp,
which we attempted to talk about from the studio, and that just didn't go well for us because the internet just died on us.
Yeah, it just died.
And so I'm not sure how many people caught that episode, and I never uploaded it because the audio was terrible. So
really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I never uploaded it, and it just died mid sentence too. So.
Well, first of all, update everybody on the story because until you even mentioned it to me, I didn't even know anything about it, to be honest.
Which is crazy to me. It's everywhere right now.
It's clearly not on the channels I was watching or the stuff I was doing.
All right, so if you like him or are living under a rock and just not paying attention to anything mainstream,
all I was thinking is Pickett, bro. All I was thinking is Willis or Pickett.
Well, do you at least know who Johnny Depp is?
Yeah.
How far back do I need to go here?
The pirate,
right? No, so Johnny Depp and Amber Heard had a very public.
Is where I remember.
Oh, that was such a good show. So Amber Heard and Johnny Depp had a very public divorce years ago, and I hesitate to say this, but she took him for $7 million. And it was a relatively volatile. I think there was rumors out there about how bad it was, but nothing confirmed. And they counted their losses. He paid her $7 million, and they went on their separate ways. Apparently that wasn't good enough for her. So then she decided to go and write an op-ed with, I think it was the Washington Post. I can't remember. One of the news outlets. She wrote an op-ed, and she never specifically mentioned him by name, but she said husband. It was obvious to anybody who read it that she was talking about him. And in this op-ed, she accused him of just horrendous things and just being a wife beater and just an overall POS. And that caused him to be booted out of Pirates of the Caribbean. He lost other work, and he was kind of, in a sense, blacklisted as this wife-beating, horrible person. He, of course, denied it and said it wasn't true. Nobody believed him, so he decided to bring a suit against her, which is what they're doing currently, a defamation lawsuit, essentially saying, hey, you said things that weren't true about me. They hurt me financially, and now I'm going to make you pay. Right. And the reason why it's so salacious, I guess, at the moment is all their dirty laundry. Yeah, big $5 word right there. All their dirty laundry is being put out there for the world to see. Like they're doing very public trial, which is weird to me. It's like I turned on to one of the news stations like a week ago, and it was literally just that. Like they weren't covering anything newsworthy, but just the trial, just his testimony, which I thought was like, why are you watching this?
Because it's probably acting. So it's a show. It's a show.
Right. He was funny though. Like hearing some of the stuff he says, it was kind of funny. It is like Amber Heard seems like she got like the worst lawyer on the planet. This dude, like everything was hearsay. He asked him a question about hearsay. When Johhny Depp answered it, he objected to it for hearsay. I was like, but dude, you just like what? It was weird. Anyways, there's been things that have come out. You know, apparently she threw like a bottle at him and cut some of his fingertip off. She was just very abusive with him and emotionally just crazy, for lack of a better term. And then, but the one that, you know, the biggest one that everybody's talking about is she basically, it is now public record and admitted that she took a dump on his side of the bed and sent him a picture, which, bruh, I've been mad in my life. I think we're married, so we've all been mad at some point. I've never been that mad where I'm going to go take a dump on my wife's side of the bed, send her a picture, and be like, how about that? Like, I've never been that mad before. Like, that's a different level of mad that I'm not sure if I'm even capable of getting to. But I do think it's interesting that it's now a part of public record and the whole world knows it. I don't know how she comes back from that. Because from now on, anytime I ever see her, all I'm going to think is, you shit the bed.
She admitted it?
Yeah. It's public record. She shit on his bed, on his side of the bed.
Not only is that outrageous, but I'm not even, as crazy as I feel like I am, I'm not even inspired to try
it. No, not even a little bit.
You know, it's not like I'm gonna log it in my head and go like, yeah, you know what? Next time, Dana, you act like a fool. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that.
But for me, I think this.
It's not even.
I know for me, it's more important to me though the overall message that it's bringing into the limelight though,
right?
Because within this trial, there's been some things that I think are calling attention to, like the mainstream ideas of like men and women, abuse, things of that nature, right? Like in there, and you should get fired up because she's trying to insinuate that he is guilty of all those things because he was an alcoholic. And she's basically saying nobody's going to believe you because you're an alcoholic and all sort of like,
oh, wow.
Yeah, man. She's bringing all those stereotypes. And then she was bringing in, well, you're a dude. Like, don't be a pussy. Get over it. Like,
I did hear some of that. I did. Yeah. She was emasculating him quite a bit.
Yeah. And it's like totally acceptable. And people don't realize that men deal with that a lot in this world. But if you do something about it, then you're just a horrible person. If you take it and try to be whatever, then you're weak. It's like there is no win. And then society doesn't look at us, and take that into consideration. Like I was watching a show, right? There's a show I was watching the other day. I was I think Married at First Sight again. And there was a kind of an argument, a fight that was happening between the two of them on their honeymoon. And she was being just obstinate as hell, calling him a princess and just being rude, man. And the guy kept trying to talk to her in a calm fashion, and he kept telling her, like, dude, I'm trying to be vulnerable here and you're just not handling this well. And so he left. He packed his stuff and he left, right? And I think that is an interesting thing because a lot of people attacked him saying you left, right? But what is a dude supposed to do? If we stay and it escalates, then we're a bad dude because we got into a fight or an altercation or whatever, some things were said. But if he does what I was always taught to do is the right thing, is remove yourself from the situation to to de-escalate. Right. But then now also, oh, how dare you leave?
You always run. Like, you always run. You don't face your problem.
Exactly. So it's like we're damned if we do, damned if we don't, right? And I think that it's bringing that to light to where like us as men have known about that forever. But society is finally starting to acknowledge, like, maybe that's a problem. And obviously it is.
Well, on that note, the sad thing is that the societal message is that if you are bigger and stronger and can physically hurt the other person, you should therefore stand there and take any abuse that comes your way because of that.
Yeah.
Like that's when it becomes a factor. Cool. But if we're doing emotion versus emotion,
we're equal.
We're equal.
Yeah.
If we truly are doing emotion versus emotion, then we're equal. if we're doing physical versus physical, well then let's get in a ring, and if that's the way we're going to hash it out,
let's have it out, man.
Then let's have it out, and then at least then we can know a victory. But when it's emotion versus emotion, there is no victory. Once the emotions get involved and one person is saying stupid shit, the other person is saying stupid shit, neither one of you are going to win that fight. The only fights where you know definitively that there's a winner and a loser is a physical altercation. Yeah. So unless you want it to be physical, then you have to remove yourself, because you know you can't win. Anyone in any relationship, man or female, if you have the other person at you just and you're sitting there, I don't care if you're silent for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, there is absolutely zero way to win that conversation or win that argument. You leave, supposedly you're a loser. If you fight physically, you're supposedly a loser. So there is no win.
Nope.
So for any stronger physical person out there in the relationship, you better leave. You better 100% leave, because I'd rather lose by leaving than losing by eventually. Then you're gonna pop off, and then it becomes all about your reaction. That's what the fight becomes about. That's what the conversation becomes about, and that's what the lawsuits and the criminal charges become about. So you have to leave.
Well, and that's why I'm a firm believer that the physical line should never be crossed by anybody.
That's right.
Like,
you have
as
to
a male
leave.
or a female, do not cross the physical line, period. Because you don't ever want to put somebody else in a position where they now have to, like, quote unquote, be the bigger, better person, right? Like, don't put me in that position. I'm bigger than you, and that is potentially a problem. So don't put me into a position where I've got to be strong enough to overcome my emotional outburst, because you're obviously not, because you're berating me and saying these things. So don't expect me to have more self-control than you have. Right. Like, don't put me in that position. And if you are bigger, stronger, faster, leave. Leave, walk out, because it's probably not going to end well for you.
Do you think his case would be as strong as it is if he didn't have all the recordings of these conversations, though?
No, and that's
she
the
buried
problem.
herself in these recordings. Now, mind you, I don't know about you, but to anyone that's ever recorded an argument, first of all, you're recording, so of course you could be calmer because you're recording it.
No, some of her recordings were used against her that she used.
I didn't hear those. I only heard his.
She has a recording. That was the drunk thing.
He was recording it.
She had a recording of him, and she was trying to use this as a recording of how he was, abusive to her. She set the recording up on the table, and you can hear her tone. She's obviously knows that she's recording. But the funny thing is, it backfired on her, because all he did was he came into the room already upset about something. The timeline, people think it was either because somebody in his family died or because something happened. He lost like millions of dollars. So whatever it was, whichever timeline you believe, he was upset. He was, I don't know him personally, but I'm going to assume based upon the video that I saw, he's probably intoxicated, and he's coming in and he's okay. I'm not trying to defend the dude here, but have you ever been doing anything like trying to grab something and like a door? Like, what he did was he was opening the cabinet door to get a glass out, but apparently the cabinet door was like flimsy. So every time he would open it, when he would go to reach, it would start to close again, and he would move it, and it would close. So he finally he pushed it. He was like, he got mad because, like, come on, man, like, stay open.
I've done it
as well.
Exactly. Have no excuse.
I'll probably do it tonight, man. Like, that's just like, come on, stop.
I almost did it with the dog right now.
So anyway, so he was doing that, and she kept asking what's wrong, and he's like, he was adamant that it had nothing to do with her. Like, leave me alone. I'm just upset right now.
Right.
And that was her video to try to prove that he's a belligerent drunk and is emotional and mean. But that video was nothing other than the fact of he didn't do anything to you. Actually, he was just upset, and he hit a cabinet. Not illegal, so she did record, but even on her own recordings, they didn't really help her. So it was like, but no, to answer your previous question, no, I don't think that without these recordings that he would have a leg to stand on, because we all know it to be true, but we want to act like it isn't. We all know women call into our question. I see it all the time. A woman's go-to in an argument like that is usually going to be something about your manhood. Oh, that's not a man. Oh, you're not man enough. Or, like, it happens. We all know it. We've all experienced it on some level, but we want to act like that's not the case.
Right.
Like, so when they're in court, they want to act like, no, even though deep down we all know that's probably what happened. So if he has recordings to prove what we all knew to be true anyways.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And the problem with that is I don't think he plays well in court if we didn't have these recordings, because to me he always sounds like he's slurring, and he always sounds real slow. He's a very odd guy. So like you know how like Madonna went to Europe and all of a sudden started having an accent,
right?
Well, Johnny Depp
Kentucky.
is no
He's from
Johnny
Kentucky.
Depp no longer sounds like Johnny Depp used to. He's like,
No.
there was
Yeah.
there was a time, and in that time,
yeah,
I
I'm not gonna lie though. He's been
he's
funny.
so serious sounding.
He's been funny though. Like his sarcasm with the dudes asking him on the hearsay stuff. He's been funny. I'm not even gonna lie.
Well, dude, it's because he's a character. He is no longer a person. I think when you act as many years as you do, you become a mixture of all of your own favorite characters that you've created. It's like,
well, plus he does these eclectic ones too.
Well, the thing is, you keep putting personalities in you, right? You keep on practicing these personalities and you putting them. They now are all a part of you. So one day he's going to be Edward Scissorhands, and he's just going to be like weird, like that.
Well, like
right?
Will Smith thought he was a bad boy when he went to smack Chris Rock.
All of a sudden Will Smith was one of his characters, right? So, but I think that's the problem of actors. You lose your identity. You lose who you are because you first of all, that's you become a mixture of all these people, because clearly who you just were probably wasn't really who you really wanted to be anyway. That's what acting is so attractive. That's why I loved acting, is because I didn't really like who I was as a young kid, so I could become all these other characters, and in doing so I actually became a lot of those characters that I played. And next thing you know, you live out the realities of the characters that you put inside your body. So even to this day, I am all of those characters. You know what I mean? And I'm nowhere even near, not even a smidgen, not even a 0.01% of what they've done. Right. So of course, now that they're on the stand, when you're a famous person on the stand, a lot of times you don't even seem real. And he's no different, man.
It's been an interesting thing to watch.
A character. And if it wasn't for those recordings, I just really would not believe him. I just wouldn't. I would think like, dude, you're acting, bro.
Yeah.
Nobody talks like that. Nobody normally talks like that.
He's weird. He's not a duck.
I'm willing to bet that even Christopher Walken does not sound like Christopher Walken on regular days.
That's awesome. Oh, William Shatner.
That's a real good example. I guarantee you, William Shatner, if you're in a relationship with William Shatner, you don't hear that. But as soon as there's anyone around, all of a sudden you probably hear William Shatner.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
That's funny. That's awesome.
It's part of the deal, man. It's just part of the deal. But I don't even know who this woman is. I would not be able to pick her out in a lineup, to be honest with you. I don't know this actress. I don't. You keep saying
she's relatively famous.
I don't know.
I mean, she's had a couple hits, but nothing to the level that Johnny Depp has. No, he's way more famous.
How famous can you be if you got $7 million from Johnny Depp? You can't be that famous, because if you were that famous, you shouldn't have been able to get any of his money. You have your money, he has his money. Right? But the fact that she needed $7 million of his money says that she wasn't famous enough to have her own stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the details and all, but I mean, she made a pretty good deal off of Aquaman with what's his name. She's been in a few things here and there. Like I said, I'm not an expert on her by any means, so all you Amber Heard fans are probably telling me like, no. I mean, she's super famous, But
what is that comment?
Somebody on YouTube said, I once met the Micro Machines guy, and he really is. You know what? That doesn't surprise me. I used to watch interviews with him, and he like. It's funny you said Micro Machines, because I used to love Micro Machines as a kid, and I had a whole bunch of them. And I'm sure my mom is still watching, who can attest to that. If it's not Micro Machines, it's not the real thing. But yeah, that dude was like lightning quick, man. He had so much play off of that in the 80s and 90s, man. He was on a Burger King commercial. He was everywhere. But I can imagine, another one I bet you is like that in real life is the guy from Police Academy, the guy that makes all the noises. I think he's like that in real life.
I used to know him, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he lives here in Orlando. There was a time period where I spoke to him.
And he's like that in real life, I bet. He just pops off with like random things sometimes.
Let's just say there's people out there that once were famous and funny and whatever, and they miss it a lot. And when they miss it a lot, what you end up seeing is that Jerry Lewis effect. I call it like the Jerry Lewis effect. You know how everybody used to say Jerry Lewis was like rude and just a jerk. Sure. But when you saw Jerry
Half
Lewis,
of our audience doesn't even know who that is, but go ahead.
But he was funny as hell, man. He used to just be funny as hell.
I didn't think he was that funny, personally.
And everybody wanted him, well, because you're not from anywhere near that generation. And so, but he was funny, he was goofy, he was all that. But in later years, all you saw was the seriousness, the real jerky part of him, which is why he played jerky characters real well in his later years, is because supposedly that's how he really was. Michael Winslow is kind of like that. When I met him, he was in a serious part of his life. I mean, I'm not going to pretend to know him personally, other than we've just had some few interactions. But I could see that little bit of him. He was very nice to me, always cool with me. But yeah, when it would come down to like humor, he would kind of do those things. But it wasn't the same in person as it was on the movies. Like in the movies, it was like really funny, and in person, it was almost like you're trying a little too hard.
Well, I mean, if we're name dropping, the person who we are now.
Well, you brought him up. I didn't name drop.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, if the person I know of right now that we're good friends with, that is nothing like what was shown on TV was Daryl. Daryl Strawberry. He's nothing like. When I grew up watching him in the 80s and the 90s, man, like he was like this mythical figure who was, involved in all sorts of stuff. Of course, doing some of it not so good, of course. But now that we know him all the time and hang out with him,
a lot of it not so good, unfortunately.
Of course. But now that we see him all the time, he's nothing like what I thought he was going to be. I had this image of my head. I wasn't a huge baseball fan, but I knew who Daryl Strawberry was, obviously.
Right.
Enough to form an opinion. But now that we see him all the time, nothing.
And I didn't like him. And I didn't like him because he was, was a Met and he was a Yankee, and I'm a Phillies and Pirates kind of guy. So he was always on.
Hey, lady.
I know that's funny. That's funny. That Jerry Lewis comment. Lady. See, he knew. You said half the audience didn't know. He knew who it was.
Whoever that is in the half that knows who they are. Jerry Lewis, like half the people don't know who that is anymore.
We clearly know.
There's a lot. I had that stupid telethon, which you loved and I hated.
Whatever, man. I loved it. But the point is that there's no winning in relationship breakups, and when it goes public and on TV, I'm sure we're all watching it, and we can't help but somehow either put ourselves in that situation or put the characters that they have played that we fell in love with in that situation. So it's one of the two, right? It's like how is this playing out? Like that's just there's no win. And this Johhny, there's no win. But I hope you come out of it okay because you play really interesting characters.
Yeah.
I think you have entertained us for so long. My entire life, it seems like you've done something. And we're about the same age. He's not somebody that I even ran into when I lived in Hollywood. I wish I did, but I didn't. I did run into the girl he was dating at the time, and I really liked her. What's her name? What's that little tiny girl? Oh my God. She was on Beetlejuice.
Winona Ryder.
Winona Ryder. I was such a Winona Ryder fan. And then I met her, and all of my infatuation with Winona Ryder went out the window. She only like came up to my stomach, and we were all going into the movie theater, and she was like in line. We were all in line to go to Man's Chinese Theater. Actually, I don't know what she was going to go see, but they all had their I think it was Heathers or Feathers, whatever jacket they all had on the jacket from the movie that they had just filmed, and that little group of girls is just like
that's awesome.
It just caught me in the wrong moment of my life, and I was just like,
don't meet your heroes, kids.
Yeah, these girls are pretty annoying right now, and I lost it. But I mean, she was cute and all, but it was just. But that's as close as I got to a Johnny Depp experience. Him and Winona were together at the time, I think. But other than that, man, if you're in struggles in your relationship, please don't crap on their side of the bed. There's no win in there. And for those of you that are thinking about doing that, don't take a picture of it and send it to anybody. Don't. Why would you give evidence?
Yeah, don't do that.
There's got to be a level of deniability in anything you do, people. And when you take pictures, when you film it, I think that video or that picture should end up on a World's Stupidest Criminals kind of situation because I love watching those shows to see how dumb some criminals are, and I am very grateful.
There's some doozies.
In all the years that I did criminal stupidity that I did not film myself and social media wasn't what it was. Because I could easily see at least one of my friends recording something, and instead of me being able to have some sort of level of deniability, I would have none.
See, that's how I know we're cut from the same cloth. Because I too had plenty of illegal activity when I was younger, and my mentality was much different than the kids these days. Funny story. My wife, I think it was yesterday, sent me this. I'm not going to read it verbatim, but she sent me an email yesterday asking me if it was a dream or did I really do this. She said I was like next to her crying, telling her that I was going to essentially kill her and bury her. And I was like, So when she emailed that to me, you know, my response was, I put LMAO. Oh, no, I put LMAO. Why would I tell you that ahead of time?
Exactly.
And then she emailed back, was like, that's not really the answer I was looking for. But I was like, look, if I was going to do that, I wouldn't tell you. I'd take that to my grave, bro. Like, I'm not telling
Guerra
anybody
avisado no
anything.
mata soldado. Guerra avisado no mata soldado. You never tell somebody you're coming.
Yeah. Deniability, man. I take that to my grave. I'm not going to tell you the crime I'm going to commit ahead of time. Why would I do that?
Yeah. That's 100%, bro. And so that's why I'm glad it wasn't around. Right? And I know that any of my old friends watches this. I'm sure they're loving the fact that we didn't take pictures and we didn't do anything.
Dude, can you imagine? I'm just thinking back right now at my life and things I did. If there was internet and camera phones, like, oh my God, dude.
I'd rather tell the stories from my current perspective rather than a video explaining my perspective.
Exactly.
Rather than a picture, because at least now I can add context to it. See, because in a picture, in a movie, you can't add context to it.
Or you can deny it.
Or you can deny it.
Yeah.
Or you can deny it. Like, oh my God, bro. I wish I could show you this. I wish I could show you what's in this package. And I'm telling you, this is, oh my God, this is perfect timing too. No. So by the package, you can tell what it is, right?
It's old photos. Wow.
Yeah.
That's back when we had to actually go and drop off film to be developed.
Oh, so I'm going to give you an explanation of context. This is a perfect scenario. And I'm not, by the way, no matter what, don't worry. The person in this, Bart, my old friend Bart, I am not showing these on this show. I'm not showing them to anybody. I would never post what's in this. I would never, ever do it. So you have no worries. The worst thing that I did is I did take a picture of them and I sent them to your older brother. You know that I did that because we got a hold of you and laughed at you because I thought that was funny. Always give it to the brother, but I'm not going to do this publicly. Now, let me tell you what's in this. So I'm sitting here doing the show, right?
Don't show us, but describe in detail.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's a whole different ballgame.
Bart, what was his last name again?
It's different. Again, there's deniability. And as long as you don't visually see it, bro, it can be explained. All right. So I'm going to explain it.
Okay.
So I'm sitting here working on a computer or something. I'm here, right? And Dana comes in. My wife's name is Dana, for those that don't know. Dana comes in and she goes, "What is this?" I don't know. You know, I'm in one of those moods, and I'm like, "What are you talking about? What are you bugging me with?" You know what I mean? Like, what are you, right?
So our friend on YouTube said, note to self, if you pee on your wife's toothbrush every morning, don't leave any witnesses.
Exactly. Oh, put that one up. Hold on.
Touche. Well played.
I'm liking whoever that person is, man.
Yes, I don't know whoever that is. Please, I hope you're following us.
Future shows.
Yes, I want to see you more.
Yeah. Please follow us because I want to see you on future shows. All right, so Dana comes in with this thing, right? And she puts these on my desk, and she goes, "What is this?" And I'm thinking, "What the hell did I do?" I know by the package, it's old. Nobody has these anymore.
No,
nobody has old pictures like this anymore. And I'm thinking, what the hell is she giving me? So at first I don't really look at him, and then but she keeps talking about it. So I'm like, what the hell is this? So I open it up and I look at it. I'm thinking, what the? First of all, why the hell do I have these pictures? They're not of me. Not one picture.
They're of Bart.
In this, they're all of Bart. They're all of Bart. They're all of Bart.
I don't know if I like where this is going. You know, some of those films they didn't develop back in the day, right? They removed them.
Every single picture in here is of an old friend of mine, Bart.
Okay.
But not just pictures of Bart. They're pictures of Bart that me as a straight dude in life should never have.
Why did I know that this is where that was going? Oh gosh. Yeah.
I should never have possession of these pictures for two reasons. One, because I'm straight. There's no reason that a straight man should ever have pictures of this of any man. None.
God.
Two, these are over 30-something years ago.
Jesus.
How the hell did they make it through all the moves in my life? Right? There's so many other items that have been lost. Is there something you want to tell us, man?
Is that why you hold on to it?
So I get why Dana's asking me.
You think? If I found those, I would never let you forget it. Just so you know,
dude. I'm thinking, is my wife thinking that I have a secret that I haven't told her?
Yeah, but you didn't have to take one of them and blow it up, to poster size. You didn't have to do that. That was a bit far. It's a little unbelievable at this point.
Oh my God, bro! I can't even stop laughing just thinking about it because in that moment, it all hit me of, why do I have these? I had to ask myself, how the hell do I have these pictures? And then so it hit me, wait a minute, these look familiar. I've seen these pictures before. And then, by the way,
took them.
None of
I mean, somebody had to take them. They didn't have the timing things back then. You know. Oh God. Where did we go wrong? We took a horrible turn somewhere.
I look, I'm outing myself. I'm out. But I'm not that kind of out, but I'm outing myself, right? So first of all, none of them are there's no membership in these in these pictures. Let's just put it that way. There's no membership.
Right. Just
but I'm
tunnels.
Like, yeah. No membership or tunnels.
Oh,
so
God.
I'm like, how the hell? So I'm start thinking, how the hell? So I don't have the dude's number anymore, dude. I haven't seen this dude in 30-something years, right?
It was a bad breakup.
Yeah.
You didn't shit on his bed, did you?
It didn't end well. No, I would not admit it if I did. But so I call his brother up. And I'm like, dude, you're not gonna believe what the hell I got. So I take it. He goes, what's going on? I take a picture of him and I send it to him. He's just laughing. He's like, dude, first of all, how the hell do you have? I don't know, man. But I got them, and these are way too good to just like not share them with at least you for you to bust his balls on these. There's no way. There's no way. It's that brotherly thing, you like busting each other stuff. Because I know, I'm like, dude, your brother went way wrong. He knows me. Your brother knows me. He should have never let me have these because I could use these against him big time. So anyway. Finally, fast forward, we talked. Then I get in touch with Bart, and I show Bart the picture, picture of the pictures. He's like, "Dude, how the hell do you have these? How stronger language than that, obviously." I go, "I don't know." He goes, "Neither of us can remember who took the damn pictures, but he said one real important thing. He goes, hey man, whatever you think of doing those, don't because that means I got yours."
Oh wow! Wow. Okay. I didn't see that one coming. Okay.
Because there was a time. All right. So did I ever tell you the story of how when we were in high school, there was this real crazy chick, man. There was this real crazy chick who did modeling, right?
Okay.
And she would pay Bart and I money to use our names and likeness to talk to other chicks. Follow the bouncing ball. True story. You can't even make shit like this up. She was crazy. And I do not know the diagnosis, nor am I trying to be. And I'm not being the dope doctor today, so I'm not trying to be nice and empathetic and diagnose it. It wasn't a drug and alcohol problem.
We've crossed that bridge a long time ago.
Exactly. But she would pay me and pay Bart to pretend to be us. So she would call girls up and say, I'm Louis Delgado. She would lose this real deep voice. And she could do it. She could sound like a dude. And she would call and pretend to the point where she was dating people. She was dating people. True story. She was dating females acting like she was Bart, and she was dating females acting like me. To the point that one time it got so serious, the girl wanted to meet me so bad, apparently, that she set it up that I had to go do it. She paid me a lot of extra money to go do it. And I did. And
it's a good thing our wives don't ever watch these shows. So
dude, it was money, dude. It was money. And so she paid me, and so I go to the designed area to pick her up. I'm a senior in high school at the time, or junior in high school. I'm in high school. I had to go pick her up from freaking middle school, bro.
She invented catfishing.
Dude, she was catfishing. And I'm like, this is stupid. This is ridiculous. So I pick up this, and so I don't even know who I'm picking up. But apparently the girl knows everything about it. She knows what I look like. She knows my car. She knows everything about me. Because remember, this girl's using me. This girl that's coming into my car thinks it's It's me that she's been talking to all this time. I have nothing. I have no knowledge of it.
Wow.
She gets in my car. I'm like, hey, how you doing? I'm playing the role because I'm getting paid to do it. Playing the role. But no, I'm not going to kiss you. You're a little girl, man. This is ridiculous. I can't. In my head, I'm thinking, dude, this is a little girl. Why is this girl? Oh, so I'm like pissed off, bro. I'm just pissed off. And I'm driving the girl to her house, man. Worst scenario ever, bro. I drop off the girl in her house, and who shows up? A bunch of dudes from my high school that know who I am. It's one of their little sister.
Oh wow, nice. I have I'm going to cut this in a little bit because I got to grab my kids from school, but I have my own interesting story. So we'll finish it with this. So,
let me at least finish this part of it. That's why we have pictures.
Ahead.
We had pictures because he did some pictures that she could use, and I think I did some pictures that she could use for that, and that's why there's pictures of us. But that does mean that Bart probably has some really crazy pictures of me that it's like.
Well, if they're listening to this, Bart, if you're listening to this, I need you to email those pictures.
So now go ahead, man.
Because I will post those. So he said toddler Chris Hansen pops out of the corner. So appreciate it. I swear I wasn't going to do anything. I was just going to hang out. No, so I got my own interesting story like that. Well, I got plenty of them because of the kids. But so this was like a couple weeks ago. God, dude, we broke laws. I'm sure for this unintentional laws. If my mom is watching, sorry. So I'm sitting at the house. My mom, my kids go and they hang out with mom sometimes, and spend the night at grandma's house.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here on the couch one day, and my phone, goes off, and my mom sent me a text message. So I open it up and I look down, like, what the? I'm gonna try not to be as graphic as it's an underneath shot of my son's naked self in his butthole. So my mom is sending me that. I'm like, what? I immediately call her. And I said, what? Why? What? Please explain.
Isn't it? It's illegal, by the way.
That's what I said. I think laws were broken. So she said, my mom was pissed. And I'm like, what? So apparently my son, I'm telling you, I couldn't make this up. My son apparently took her iPad into the bathroom and took that picture because he was trying to see if he wiped enough. So he took the iPad, hovered over it, took the selfie to see if he finished wiping enough, and then didn't delete it. So my mom opens the iPad and she gets greeted with that, and then decides to send it to me. And I'm like, what the hell? And let me tell you, no, he didn't wipe enough. Oh, God. Mind you, he's 10. So, yeah.
Did you teach him a better system?
That kid, man. I got plenty of those stories with him. One time, the toilet was clogged. One time, he comes to me and tells me the toilet's clogged. I said, "Okay, buddy, I'll be there in a second and I'll fix it." And then, like maybe 10 minutes later, he comes to me. He's like, "Oh, I took care of it." I was like, "What do you mean you took care of it? Like it doesn't. What do you mean?" I was like, "Did you use the plunger thing?" Because he was like, I don't know, this was years ago. He was like 6 or something. And I was like, "Did you use the plunger?" He's like, "No." I was like, "Well, what did you do?" "I used my hand." So he reached down into the toilet and unclogged it with his hand. Hey, bro, my son's a trooper,
dude. I'm glad I had daughters, bro. My daughter, no way.
I'm telling you. I got plenty of stories with this boy. He's giving me a run.
You just need to write them down. Things that this is.
We'll have a segment on one of our shows every week.
Yeah, when he gets married, these are the things you're gonna go. Here's the top 10 reasons I never thought my son would get married.
Yeah.
Number 1, he used his hand as a plunger. Number 2, he used his own grandmother's iPad to see if he wiped enough. I mean, really,
he didn't even delete the picture though.
You need to do the top 10 things. You seriously do. Top 10 things.
He said minimalist. I can respect that. Oh God, yeah. It's I don't know, man. That kid is.
It's an interesting way to end the day. Now actually we do got to end it, but look, our boy is running for office. I don't know if he's still on, Richard Coleman.
Yeah, Richard, you still on here, man? He's up in South Carolina running, or
Right,
North Carolina,
right,
one
right,
of them, running for office.
So there's Richard Coleman right
Carolina.
there. Yeah, early voting just started here in North Carolina. Let the race begin. If you're in his area, you see his name on a thing. It says Richard Coleman. Richard Coleman. Look, he used to work for NASCAR in NASCAR. He was a pit crew for Kyle Busch even. So gotta like Richard Coleman. He's part of our shows many times. He jumps on, interacts with you guys.
He loves the We the Middle ones.
He loves We the Middle, loves the political conversations because that's his lifeblood, So, Richard, and again, it makes it real special that he's your childhood. Apparently, you bullied him as a kid, and then I loved him when he was on Kyle Busch's team. He might come up with. It
wasn't me,
Richard. If you can find any pictures like this of Trinity, please share. Anyway, good luck, Richard, in your race. I think you're right. I think it's like a commissioner or something like that in his area.
Yeah, I think it's commissioner. Yeah, and you know what? Like, just real quick, I give him respect for that, right? Because on our We the Middle show, for those of you who are just tuning in, who don't know who we are, for years we've been doing shows. We're just kind of combining them all into Dope and Dharma, but
23 years to be exact.
Yeah, well, I've been doing it for what, 12, 10, 11, something like that.
Yeah, we're on the 11th year.
We do the Couch Live where we talk about drug and alcohol related issues, not always specifically just that, but things that revolve around that. We also have Dharma Time, which we talk about spirituality and kind of, trying to find happiness in life. And then we have We the Middle, which we talk about politics. And then we have the Morning After, where we talk about sports. When I say sports, it's mostly NFL. That's what we're most into.
Mostly our teams and who we like.
Yeah. But anyways, no, I got to give Richard credit, though. A lot of people complain about politics, right? I pretty much everybody complains about politics. And the fact that he saw an opportunity to say, you know what, I'm not going to just complain about it. I'm going to be part of the change. I'm going to run and I'm going to try to put my money where my mouth is. And I'm going to try to be a part of this cog here. And much respect to you, Richard, man. And good luck, man. I've heard a lot of reviews. I think we agree with a lot of them. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And so I wish you luck, man. And don't forget us when you start moving your way up the ranks, man.
Right on. All right. And with that, thank you very much, Dharma Guy. He's at the Dharma Guy. I'm at the Dope Doctor. You heard our shows. Find us on Facebook right there where you see facebook.com/WPSN99. That is the Problem Solving Network. That is where all the shows live, is on the Problem Solving Network. You've just been part of the Problem Solving Network. You've just been part of Dope and Dharma Live. And now it's time for us to go do something else. Good luck if you're into football. Good luck in the draft later today and the rest of the weekend. Other than that, I'm going to go pick up my kid from FAU. Another semester over. Dahlia, my other daughter, my oldest daughter that just got married. Today she finished her last assignment ever.
Very cool.
She is a college graduate now. After today,
Very
she's
cool.
going to graduate college at UCF, our Dana and mine's alma mater. So congratulations, Dahlia, for that. Other than that, adios, amigos. It's time for a taco. Goodbye.